The real story of the Light Brigade. On the 25th of October, 1854, the Light Brigade charged down what would soon be dubbed the Valley of Death. But what actually happened on that fateful day? The Light Brigade, made up on the day of 673 ready sabres, or cavalrymen, drawn from 5 different regiments, received a fateful order from Raglan, senior officer in charge of the British forces in Crimea and a veteran of Wellington's army. The Light Brigade was to charge down the valley, taking out the Russian guns. Attacking the valley, however, was clearly going to be a forlorn hope. Reinforced by Russian gunners on either side of the valley, the Light Brigade would have to run the gauntlet in, shatter the Russian horse and foot artillery at the end, run the gauntlet once again to escape, all the while being hammered from both sides of the valley. The specifics of the order is not known. Some believe Raglan was at fault, while others blame Nolan, the captain who carried the orders. In a twisted tragedy, however, when the Light Brigade began to trot towards the guns, Nolan stripped ahead, wheeling around, and faced his own forces. It's believed he was trying to stop the attack, seeing, much like the other officers present, what would happen. But before he could say anything, he was struck down by artillery, and so the Light Brigade began their charge. They would reach the guns with predictable effects. The survivors of the charge got bogged down in a melee with the Russians, all while their position was now being indiscriminately fired upon by both sides. The number of men who would survive to make the treacherous journey back to their lines is unknown, but there were around 270 casualties, including prisoners and wounded. However, 2 other groups come into play here. The Heavy Brigade, who could perhaps have reinforced the Light, held back, preventing their own possible slaughter. But the Light Brigade weren't alone. The French light cavalry, in an attempt to assist their allies, charged up the Fedyukin heights to the left of the valley and obliterated the Russian forces who were firing upon the Light Brigade.